Welcome to the 2350 Effect.
All right, everyone, welcome. It is Sunday in another episode of the 2350 Effect. My name is Damian Kinsey. I am the co-host of this live event, which is called the 2350 Effect. And I have my great co-host, and this wouldn't be possible without her. And introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I am Tania Farron. I am excited to be here. I realized I didn't change the title under my name. I apologize, but I am also the co-host of the 2350 Effect and super excited to be here for our second show. Like, here we go. It's go time. We're going to have our second show. So I'm really excited about that. So thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you for that introduction. We have a special guest here for the 2350 Effect. And the 2350 Effect, let's explain what that is, because people are seeing these numbers across the screen, and they're like, what is the 2350 Effect? So the 2350 Effect is this, that a lot of times you have individuals who have a bad day, and that bad day is 15 minutes of a day. There are 24 hours in a day. So the 2350 Effect is this. Don't let 10 minutes disrupt or have an impact on the other 23 hours and 50 minutes of your day. Thus, the 2350 Effect. We want you to look at the rest of the days as a positive note in situation. All right.
Absolutely. Really powerful, very powerful thinking behind the 2350 Effect. So some of the things that we want to bring to you are people who are doing incredible things in our community already to help bring that rest of that 23 hours and 50 minutes of your day to bring brightness, to bring new thoughts, growth mindset, changes in your life. So we're super excited to be able to have all of this for you. And so, yep, a great explanation of the 2350 Effect. Before we kick it off and really introduce our person of the show, I want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, we have the Work-Life Balance Summit that's coming up. It's called the Professional Work-Life Balance Summit. It's October 4th and 5th. We already have about 15 presenters secured for this event. We will have about 26 presenters for this event. It is a 2-day virtual event, and we're going to be talking about topics such as, self-care, social media, how to manage that in your life, leadership, career, finances, family dynamics. Like, there are so many pieces, organizational skills, financial skills, things like that can help you balance your work and your life. So make sure that you scan that QR code on here. Right now, there's early bird prices for the tickets. So you can pay for the early bird price for the ticket, but we also have 1 day of tickets, and we have 2-day tickets. So make sure that you grab that, and stay tuned to that site. As we start adding the presenters, you'll start to see everyone that is coming to the event who is there. So that's one thing that I wanted to make sure to highlight tonight, and keep that forward. Did you want to say anything, Damian, about that, or do you want me to move on to the next?
I think you said everything.
Excellent. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is last week, if you were near the show, or you can go back and watch the recording, either on Creative Living Ideas YouTube channel, or you can watch it on one of our LinkedIn profiles. We had Jamie Rockymore Bess, who is the owner, a designer of Helpful Living magazine. And it is an incredible magazine. And she did a special edition magazine for Creative Living Ideas that hosted and showed 16 of our presenters from the Virtual Wellness Summit that we just had in March. And again, that 2350 Effect is bringing you good things, right? To help brighten the rest of your day, to help, think about other things. And that's something, maybe 10 minutes that occurred in your life. And so you can grab a copy of this magazine. We can drop the link into the comments, and you can read about all of the presenters in here and go back and watch that episode. It's a really incredible magazine. So yeah, check it out. It's awesome.
All right. Thank you so much for that. And the magazine is out now, and you can purchase a copy of the magazine, and you can go to Helpful Living Mag, which is on top of here, or you can go to Creative Living Ideas to get a copy of the Virtual Wellness Summit magazine, which is great because we feature 16 different presenters inside the magazine,
Yes.
over 30 pages, almost 40 pages, and we also had a feature with the individual artists who created the actual cover for the page. You want to tell them what that is actually on that cover of that page?
Yeah, it is really cool. So this artist makes quilts out of different types of paper. And so his quilts have been all over the world. And he lives in my hometown in Missouri. And so he, this quilt, and I was funny, I say this in the episode last week, but I had called him and I said, hey, can you send me a more centered, I'm a real symmetrical, centered piece? And he said that positioning of that is showing all of the different things and angles, the way things come at us in life. So it's not supposed to be symmetrical. It's not supposed to be centered on there. So there's real meaning behind it that we selected this to go along with the Virtual Wellness Summit, right? So that we can all be managing the different things in our life in different ways. So it's really beautiful. And there's inside the magazine, there's an article about the artist as well as 2-page articles on every presenter in the magazine. It's awesome. Incredible. Thanks everybody for being here today. Bernardo and Damalo and Christina Lashante from Oakland. And we have a Bernardo from Uruguay. Thank you for being here. Lashante, Jackie, thank you for being here. Noni, thank you for being here. Brian, LinkedIn user, I think that was Damian, thanking everyone. Dr. Constance Leland, thank you for being here. Christy, thank you so much for being here. Jane as well, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. If I didn't get to read your name, drop in a comment. Hello, Margaret. Hello, Lisa. Thanks for coming today. Oh, and Jamie's here. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jamie, for being here as well. So if you drop your name in the comments, say hello to everyone so that we know that you're here. We appreciate you being here for our show. All right.
Also,
we've got a special guest. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Also, if you're a LinkedIn user, which I'm the LinkedIn user currently on there, just put a dash and put your name so we actually be able to acknowledge you. I also was able to put the link for the Virtual Wellness Summit magazine inside there where you can purchase your physical copy, which will get to you in about 2 days. And then you also can purchase a digital copy of it too. And it's interesting because here's the link for the Virtual Wellness digital copy. Here's the link for the physical copy. And those people who have saw my LinkedIn journey for a very long time know that I don't have much to always sell or not selling. So here's something where I am actually offering something where you can actually purchase, which is the Virtual Wellness Summit magazine. And it's a great opportunity to get more information about our people in our network and learn more about the Virtual Wellness Summit, which was a great experience from their perspective of what the summit is. So also welcome Margaret, Lisa. We talked about Jackie. You had Jamie, who's a VWS summit member. And also we have Kinga, who's a VWS summit member as well, along with our special guest. You want to talk about our special guest? Oh, you're on mute.
I'm muted. I'm trying to unclick. Thank you. I do want to talk about our special guest. I was just thinking about it. So back to that magazine 1 second. You don't have to go back to the image, but that magazine is, incredible. It talks about what they talked about at the Virtual Wellness Summit. And our next Virtual Wellness Summit will be in March of 2025. So we already have the date set. We're already working on that also. But so if you missed it, don't worry. We'll have another one.
Which is VWE.
Yes. It's the Virtual Wellness Experience this time. Yes. All right. So I know we're talking the Work-Life Balance Summit, the Virtual Wellness Experience. We've got lots of things coming for you all. So that are going to help make those other 23 hours and 50 minutes of your day incredible. All right. I want to talk to you about the guest that is coming today, that is here with us. Her name is Dr. Mel Vandevort. Dr. Mel and I met about a year and a half ago on LinkedIn talking about education and our businesses. We actually live in the same probably 40 minutes from each other, maybe 30 minutes from each other. Still haven't met in person, but we call each other, we text each other. We've become very fast friends. Have really enjoyed having her be a friend. She was very brave and jumped in on my very first summit that I had, the Work-Life Balance Summit last October. She presented in that. She presented in the virtual wellness. So you can tell she's a powerhouse. We keep asking her back, and she's got really great things. So I'm excited to bring her about because she's got some incredible things for you to help you. So let's bring her up. All right. Hi, Mel. How are you?
I'm great. I'm blushing. Oh my gosh. That was a great intro.
Well, it's really true. If you really think about it, we met about a year and a half ago. We really did. You jumped on board and trusted with the Work-Life Balance Summit, did a great job on that one, did a great job on the virtual wellness. And, we've been collaborating. And one of the things I was thinking about prepping for this today, and I was thinking about how awesome it is to have two people, you and I, that we're in the same business, but supporting each other, pushing each other, guiding each other, talking to each other, bouncing ideas off of each other. What do you think about this? I'm thinking of doing this, so really incredible. You're really an incredible person. So I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell them a little bit about you.
Well, thank you so much. And you're an incredible person too. And I'm super excited that we connected about a year and a half ago. Like you said, we're both educators, but we're both entrepreneurs. And so I think that common bond really is what has made us close, even though we live geographically close. Like you said, we've never met in person, but I still feel like we're really close friends. But a little bit about me. I have been an educator since 1999. I moved into administration in 2016 as a principal. I was a rural educator for a long time. And then I moved to St. Louis area, and I became a dean of instruction in a charter school, and I had never been in charter school before. And I learned some things there that I had never learned being an educator anywhere else. I had never learned it as a teacher. I wasn't doing it as a principal, but when I became a dean of instruction, I learned some great things, and it has really given me this passion. When I was working on my doctoral dissertation, it was all about professional development because that is one of my passion areas. And it just was a natural transition into being an entrepreneur and carrying that over into educational consulting and one-to-one coaching and group coaching and writing a book and all of the things. And I love presenting on the summits. It helps me grow and be a bigger, better person. Be able to really hone what I do and my message and learn from other people. It's networking is like the best way to grow yourself.
Yes, I love that. That's a great point. And so, I feel like one of the greatest things that we have created is our 2350 network that is coming very, very soon. Our presenters are already included in this, but they have been able to, and you'll read this in the magazine when you read the magazine, but built relationships with each other, have been able to collaborate together. And I think that networking piece is really important as well. It really does help you grow. And that's what I was saying I was enjoying with you. And I've been able to have that same thing with Damian and I. When I first started the Work-Life Balance Summit, I called him up and was like, hey, what do you think? Is this crazy idea? Just wanted to get his thoughts, but it's so important to do that. And you do so much already. You really do so much already.
Yeah. And it's because of people like you guys that I continue to do those things. You keep inviting me back, and I love putting my message out there. I think God gives you a great message, and you just have to be brave enough to do it, to take bold action and get your words and your message out into the world.
Absolutely. Damian, would you like me to continue, or did you want to jump in?
Yeah, I got this. Bold action. It makes me think about something. We have a segment where we talk about something, and it's called laugh, text, or call. And so now laugh, text, or call is a segment where during the last week or so, is there something that kind of inspired you that made you laugh? Reach out to call somebody or text someone. And what is that thing? All right. So now since you're thinking about that, and you're our guest, you have the opportunity to go first, or you can pass it to one of us to go first.
I'll go, definitely. My children make me laugh. My adult children think they are the funniest things on the earth, and they're all three boys. And I'm surprised they made it to adulthood. Really, they're not safe. they take bold action in not safe ways, and no, they are great. I love our adult relationships, but they constantly keep me rolling. They are picking at each other, picking at my daughter-in-law, picking at my grandkids, picking at me, everybody, and they bring me a lot of joy.
That is awesome.
That's amazing. Dr. Farron, you want to go first before me?
Sure, of course. I want to just, comment on Dr. Mel. Our kids are so fun, aren't they? Sometimes they can just be crazy and fun, and they just really bring life, to the world. I would say, honestly, my memory is, whatever I just did, right? So one of the things, we just went to the air show and I just saw the Blue Angels. Yes, that was a text. Holy cow. This is incredible. Like, this, my table shakes, like, incredible. It was the most incredible. Like, and when you sit there and you look at these Blue Angels and these fighter pilots and all of this that are flying these planes, you're like, God, you're just bad, I don't know what else to say. It was incredible today. Like, and we're all texting each other, like, you got to see this, watch this video, look at this, I took this picture. So yeah, that was our excitement as a family today.
That's amazing and awesome. My laugh, call, or text has to be, let me think about it. I'll just show it to you. My laugh, call, text. So I had the pleasure of reaching out to somebody, and they were able to actually help out and support with that. So I reached out to Jamie. We had a conversation, and she kind of wanted to send you a special message.
Hi, everyone. I hope this day's been good to you. I just wanted to jump on here real quick and say, Dr. Mel, thank you so much for being a part of Healthful Living Magazine's special edition with the Virtual Wellness Summit. As you know, being an entrepreneur, there's a lot that goes into it. Long hours, long nights, especially with the magazine, and curating it and putting it all together can be a lot of work. But having you a part of it really helped. You were very prompt with your responses. I learned what you learned at the Virtual Wellness Summit, and I also admire your one-on-one coaching that you do. So again, I wanted to say thank you. I appreciate all that you're doing in our communities, and I look forward to seeing the many things that you do in the near future. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. And Jamie is amazing. I mean, I can imagine, I don't know, but I can imagine the work that went into putting that together. And this isn't the only one she does. So she does this all the time, and it was an amazing experience. So thank you, Jamie.
So as you know, that once you were coming on the show, I knew that I had to call somebody. So my call was to call Jamie and have her do that. And she was just like such open to doing that.
She's awesome. She's incredible. We've had some amazing people. So, if you guys are doing something or you've got ideas for things, in your companies, reach out to Jamie. She is just, and she made it so effortless. Just, it was no big deal. But that was on her. So I want to get into this book. So this is Dr. Mel's book. I have this much left to read in it. It is a really, really great book. So tell us about your book, Educator to Entrepreneur. Tell us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to write a book for a long time. And I tried a couple of different things and sent it to a couple of places and was declined. And probably for a good reason, because I probably wasn't ready at that time to put out what I thought I needed to put out. And I met someone through another summit, and she was also a book coach. And so she's like, hey, you really should use your book as part of your coaching. So you write the book based on your program. And I mean, it was like light bulb. And so I'd already created a program, which was called the Ignite program. And it was like super easy to turn that program and all of the steps and everything I'd already laid out into a book. And it has 3 parts. It is Spark, Flame, and Blaze. And each of the 3 parts has 3 chapters. So it's a 9-step program that she had me create. And the first 6 chapters are the Ignite. It's an acronym. And the first section of my book is Spark, and it's Initiate, Gravitate, and Navigate. And the second part is Flame, which is implementing and growing. So the first part is exploring and establishing your business. The second is the Flame, where you implement and you grow. And that is Imagine, Transform, and Empower. And those are the 6 letters of Ignite. But then I went on to expanding what you're doing. So it's diversifying and expanding. And that's where I talk about strategy. I also talk about podcasting, because, I'm a podcaster and that's one of my passions as well. And then how you can use a book in your business to leverage everything. And it was an amazing experience writing it. It was hard in some respects, but it was also easy once I knew what I needed to do. And I think that was the missing piece. I didn't know what I didn't know. And once I figured that out and was coached on what that was, it just became easy. And it was, I got it done within 2 months, and I was able to publish on 4/24/24 because, I love a good palindrome. I'm all about acronyms and palindromes. So that's the educator in me, I think. But so that's it.
So what is your favorite part of the book? If you had to pick, this is my favorite section, this is my favorite chapter of the book, what would you pick?
I think probably chapter 1 is my favorite. And that is because everything in that book was based on my purpose and my passion. My passions became my purpose. And I had potential. Everybody has potential that's just sitting there waiting to be tapped into. And I talk about all of that in chapter 1. And it really, when you're able to turn your passion into your daily living, your career, everything that brings you joy, it's an amazing feeling, and it's just so much easier. Everything just falls into place once you tap into all of the things from your past, your experiences, your skills, your hard skills, your soft skills, your interests, those passions that you have, and that all becomes your purpose. And it's just so easy to love what you do then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I thought that was really interesting. I love that, how before anybody can be an entrepreneur, they've got to dig in and find out what their passion is. And I love that you put that in the book. Now, my favorite section of the book, because I felt like when I created my own company, Creative Living Ideas, I sort of did this after, when I was networking with some friends. I had created the company. But when you talk about creating your vision, and I've done this with right? I've always done our mission and vision so many times, but I really didn't think of doing that next. Not that it's not exactly next in what you do, but it's in that first chapter, you know, and I told you when I talked to you on the phone, I was like, I have my favorite chapter. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. You'll find out on the show. But the vision is definitely so important to have. And I love that you put that in there before you get to anything else. You know, find your passion, do that vision piece. And I know there's so much more in depth to it in your book, not just those pieces, but you know, really going into that. The other thing I love about your book, and we're going to talk about your podcast here shortly, but the other thing I love about your book is that you put in your podcast episodes where they can go in to listen to more, and you give them more resources within your book of what you have created. And I thought that was really incredible that you did that.
Plus, I also have the sections at the end or at the end of each chapter where you can do your work. So I have take bold action steps, and I actually give you action steps that you can take. And then I give you workspace to work through some of that. So you can make your Spark notes. And again, as an educator, you can't just leave people hanging, and you have to give them homework. And so I'm like, I will just embed the homework in the book for you. And then you have no reason not to do what's in there. And when you were talking about the vision and the mission, I'm sure you've already read, but I was able to go back. I had created this mission statement a few years ago when I was looking for jobs here in the St. Louis area. I thought, you know, I think I need a personal mission statement. And so it's go the extra mile to motivate, inspire, lead, and empower. And then I just put that aside. I'd been here for a while. I hadn't thought of it for a few years, and I created Empowered Pathways Network separately. And then it just all fell into place because it was talking about go the extra mile. I'm Empowered Pathways Network. And so God brings things full circle for you, and everything he does in your past is what he's going to use within your future, within your present, and then your future.
I do remember reading that. Yes, that you went through and kind of brought that forward again. So
yes,
exactly. That's incredible. That was really great.
So I have a question.
I
know both of you are authors. Dr. Farron's wrote, she wrote so many books.
Yeah, she's the powerhouse writer over here. The overachiever.
And she's quiet about it too. She's like,
she is.
You wouldn't even know that she wrote double figure books. Like she just keeps that like a secret.
Right.
And I just always wonder what the process is. Like you created your own book. And I remember last time when you were on Meet the Presenters, you talked about having a coach, and you're a coach yourself and a consultant, and a coach and a consultant having a coach to write the book, and the process and all the stuff that went into writing your book, because you kind of wrote your book in a unique way. You utilize a tool, right?
Yes.
And then you'll be able to explain what that tool is. And you also had some form of coaching, and you also had a pattern and structure. Tell me about what went into the process of writing the book.
So I've already mentioned a little bit of it. When I was working with my business coach, one of the things that she said is when you're coaching, when you're thinking to do a group coaching, that you need to have a framework to teach your clients. And so we really worked hard. I had done a leadership summit several years ago, and it was called Ignite Leadership. And I really loved that. And so I just wanted to pull that in and keep that acronym and then turn that into my framework. And so I created the framework. And so I already had all of the pieces to it. I just needed to turn that into a book. And so I started writing, the things started falling in place, but then I kind of got to a point where I was a little bit stuck. And your brain is tired, you're trying to get things out, and sometimes you're like, okay, I just really don't know where to put this. And so I turned to AI. I used Ruby AI to help me get my thoughts in order and really help me to expand what I was saying. Because like I said before, I think Dr. Tania and I, we had a podcast interview not too long ago, and I was talking about that. As an educator, as an ELA teacher, past teacher, I can't give you a 3-sentence paragraph. That hurts my heart to do.
Illegal. That. It's against the education laws.
I know. It hurts me physically to do that. So I would get like 3 sentences and I'm like, I don't know what else to say here. And so I would take those 3 sentences and I would put it in AI and I would in Ruby and I would say, expand this to 5 sentences. And it would put 5 sentences out for me, taking my 3 and giving me 2 more. And sometimes saying, your sentences here are a little wonky. Let's fix those. And I was able to really expand my thoughts a little bit more because, like I said, I was trying to do this within a 2-month period and I was really tired. You can't formulate great sentences or full
It
thoughts.
starts looking the same.
Yes, it does.
How else can I say this?
Right. Plus, you have written so much that there's just not a lot left in there,
Right.
and you start forgetting what you've written in certain places and things like that. And so I utilized Ruby to help me expand those sentences, but then I was able to say, hey, put this in human words. I use that exact terminology. I'm like, put this in human words, and it would give me the human words. And then I would go back in and I would rewrite and edit, adding my education, what I wanted to tie it to for education. So it really helped me speed up the process and helped me get things really organized, helped me organize those thoughts. I already had everything organized pretty much. I just had to get a few things put in certain places, or when I was going back in to create my group coaching in conjunction with the book, it was so much easier to really work through that whole process using AI, using Ruby to help me get everything organized in a logical sequence, for one thing.
It was those of you that are listening right now, she used Ruby AI to help her with some of her book writing. You can, if you go to my page, you can follow that from last Monday. I believe it was last Monday you were on. And so you can watch that interview on my page. You can also, message me and I can send it to you. I have a different YouTube channel for that. But I was with a person today, Dr. Mel, who just purchased it from me. And it's an affiliate program. The only way you can get Ruby AI is either purchasing it from Dr. Mel or from myself, or other people that are selling it. But anyhow, it's very affordable. But I just had another person who's an author, who's a writer, who's writing text, little children's books and things. And she was just blown away by the difference. She's only been using like a chat feature. And so when I showed her how she can create an ebook and how she can create other things, she was just like, this is incredible. And then she's like, I can do so much more. I can write so much more. So you're right. It just it gives you more parameters to kind of go into. So I think that's incredible that you use that. Damian.
And can you tell them about how it doesn't sound like a robot, like Dr. Mel is writing this book? So please talk about that part about it, because using AI and utilization of a tool, a lot of it's about training your AI to actually have your voice. So you want to talk a little bit more about that, Dr. Mel?
Yeah, absolutely. So the best part, or one of the best parts of Ruby, is the fact that you can create your personas and then you can just house everything. So I have different personas for all of my different parts of my business. So on ChatGPT, when you go in there, it's just this long stream of things that you've put in there. So if you put something in there 3 months ago that you want to pull up later on, you are digging through all of that stuff to try to find it. And sometimes I've just given up in the past because I can't find it again. I can't remember what I called it. And I do so many podcast episodes that are similar in title, or my wording is similar. And so I just would give up. But having Ruby with those different profiles, I could house everything for my book in one spot. And then I didn't have to go back and search for it. So I could go in, I could find it very easy. And it made that process so much easier. And then you can there's a ghostwriter, but you can also, like I said, I just said, give it to me in human words. And it was so good to really just reword it. And it sounded like it was not a robot talking or an AI talking. It was me talking, because it kind of mimicked what I had already put in there, because I had already written some of the stuff already. I'm just expanding on what I had already written most of the time. And so it already knew how I wrote, and it just would expand in my voice. And I gave very specific instructions, put this in second person, or, whatever I needed it to do. And so it was really an easier process that way.
Incredible. Thank you for sharing that with everyone. You guys can reach out to Dr. Mel if you have more questions. She can get you a link to Ruby also if you're interested in that. I can send you some videos if you would like that, but please reach out to us for that. So we are halfway in our show right now. Hard to believe already. Time flies. And we haven't even dug into all of the things that Dr. Mel has done, because we want to get back into, we want to talk about the program that you have built coincide with your book so that people can reach out to you and find out how to do that also. So we'll come back to that in just a minute.
And before we get into a few things that is going on with the 2350 effect and our particular things that are going on, I do want to wish a special happy birthday, because I'm glad you showed up, because I was gonna put it in laugh chat or text to Dr. Q, Dr. Mishba Qureshi. Today is her birthday, so wish her happy birthday in the chat, the comments. Show us some birthday love. Today is her birthday, and we want to send a special happy birthday to her. She's a VWS member and a 2350 member as well. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dr. Q. Hope it was a great day. Exactly. And thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate those of you that have joined us. Damalia and Richard, Dr. Q, Lorelei, Lisa, Noni. I believe you know Tony, correct, Dr. Mel? Tony is a special friend, huh?
Tony is a very special friend, and he makes me laugh too. He's very funny. He thinks he's a comedian on top of an entertainer, but he's always joking. And
Tony for being here with us tonight too.
Thanks.
So thanks everybody for being here. Yeah. So just want to remind everybody a couple of things. We have the Work-Life Balance Summit coming up October 4th and 5th. You can grab your tickets now. We have secured about 16 presenters so far. We'll be having about 26 presenters for this 2-day virtual event. Topics like self-care, social media, leadership, career. We've got family dynamics. We've got financial or, like structures and strategies, organizational skills, health and fitness, like all sorts of important things for you to, and new presenters. So if you came to the Virtual Wellness Summit, there may be a few presenters that are still returning, but we also have some new presenters that are joining us for this session. So you can grab your tickets. Early bird specials are going on right now. And you can also purchase 2-day pass or a 1-day pass. So make sure you're checking that out. Yes, you can go to Creative Living Ideas. It is powered by Creative Living Ideas. So you can go to Creative Living Ideas website and go to the Work-Life Balance tab. Also, the virtual wellness experience tickets are also available for next year already. So they're on there also. So if you want to grab your ticket for that, you can also just jump on over to that one too. All right.
The tickets are on sale right now. The early bird special is $75. Take advantage of it, because it actually goes up way higher than that. So
yes,
take advantage of the $75 for the ticket and reach out.
Yep, absolutely. All right. The other thing we wanted to talk about was the Virtual Wellness Magazine. If you have not gotten a copy of that, go ahead and grab that. There's links to that in here. You can get a digital copy. You can get just a paper copy mailed to you. And I haven't got my copy yet, so I'm excited to get my actual copy. I've seen it digitally 4 times in different versions while we were editing and looking through it, but it is amazing. So you're going to love that. Grab a copy of that. And then she puts out a quarterly magazine. And again, check check out that interview with Jamie Rockymore Best from last week. She talks about her magazine. She focuses on a lot of mental health strategies, tips, stories, things like that. And she puts that magazine out quarterly. She did the special edition for us. It was Creative Living Ideas magazine. We'll probably be doing some more editions of that. So make sure that you check it out. And it is so beautiful, Kinga. Yes. And Leslie, we are excited that you are going to be joining us for the Work-Life Balance Summit as well. Thank you so much.
And Kinga's in the magazine as well. So
yes, she is.
get a copy of that. And I'm going to drop in the chat the CLI website where you can get the information on the Virtual Wellness Summit, the magazine, and also Work-Life Balance Summit, which is in October. So October comes really quick. So get those tickets early for the Work-Life Balance Summit. I know during the Virtual Wellness Summit, we were getting people who were coming at the last minute and the actual portal was closed and we weren't able to get some people into it. So this time we want to make sure that people are actually able to get into the Work-Life Balance Summit. Take advantage of the early bird special and scroll on the screen, and there's an opportunity to actually get that. And with that said, let's get back to Dr. Mel because she has so many amazing things going on, correct?
Absolutely, she does. She really, really does. So tell us about the program that you created to coincide with your book. Like, who's your target audience? Who would benefit from your program, working with you? What do you have coming up? Tell us about it.
Absolutely. But before I do that, I would like to tell you that I have dropped the price on my book for a week. So you can get the Kindle version for 99 cents and you can get the paperback version for $5.99. And that's on Amazon. I can't drop the link in the chat. It won't let me for whatever reason. So just go to Amazon, type in Educator to Entrepreneur, ignite your path to freelance.
This is a big book for $5.99.
Yeah,
but I put it in the
this is just for your special. This is for our special guests for this week. So, yes. And I would really appreciate the support so I can bump my self up to the bestseller list. So any support would be appreciated.
Aw, thanks, Jamie. Jamie's already bought a book.
Yay, thank you. Thanks so much. So yes, I've kind of already talked a little bit about the program. So my 9-step that I created with my business coach turned into my book, and now it's turning into my group coaching. And I'm basically just walking through the whole entire book in my program. So you're going to learn all of the things. We're going to start with your purpose and your passion. We're going to talk about your why, get that vision and mission ready and honed and ready to go. Then we're going to really implement everything. We're going to talk about your company identity. That's all of the things, whether you need to be an LLC, a sole proprietorship, all of those things. There's a lot that goes into that. There were things that I didn't know and I learned along the way. And that's really why I wanted to do this, because as I was starting my own educational consultancy, I'm like, wow, there's a lot that goes into this. And I did not realize. And I learned it on my own. And I thought, wow, I can teach other people how to do the same exact thing. And my target audience, it was really, the book is educational based. So I talk everything education in here, but just because I talk education lingo doesn't mean that you have to be an educator. It's really for anybody who wants to start their own either coaching, consulting, or other freelance company. You can do anything with this. It doesn't even have to be a freelance company. My boys, the ones that I told you are funny, they're men, they're adults, and they're starting their own company. And it's not going to be a freelance company. It's actually a product-based business. But everything that's in this book is they're looking through this book as well. And they're able to use it to work through their company and create all of the things for their company that they need to. There were things that I hadn't thought about, as like even insurance, getting personal insurance after you leave an employer. It's not that easy in Missouri, believe it or not. I don't know about other states, but Missouri makes it very hard. And I'm assuming since we have the wonderful I forgot what it's even called now, marketplace for insurance. I'm pretty sure that every state is very similar, and you can get kicked into Medicaid and then you can't get out. And it's like this catch 22 kind of thing. And so I figured that out, and I'm like, there is so much stuff that I can teach people. And then after you get all of your business up and running, then that expanding, like your marketing and your networking and your collaborating and even technology and all of those things. So it's really for anybody who wants to start a business. And I'm getting ready to start my group course very soon. So if anybody is interested, I would love to talk to you about that. We can have a one-on-one conversation. We can dive into that, what that would look like for you, because it's very personal. It's based on your interests, your skills, your talents, your experiences, all of that, and what you can bring in. Because I started my educational consultancy based on what I learned that I didn't know as a teacher, that I learned when I was a dean of instruction. And now I'm able to translate that into a business of my own.
So I love the fact that you're talking from the lens of, you started this book, you're an educator, you left education, you was an administrator in education, you actually was a principal in a school, you left, decided to create this own consulting program, actually a professional development program, and consultant, and then you created this book, which was how to go from like education essentially to entrepreneurship. But during the process of it, anybody can pick it up, read it, and try to actually start their own company. And you spoke my favorite language. It's called healthcare, because I love when individuals talk about entrepreneurship, and I love people who are excited about doing their own thing. But I always worry about, how do you actually take care of if you cut your toe or you burn your arm from ironing and you have to go to the doctor when you're an entrepreneur in healthcare. And in your book, you said that you can actually go in and actually talk about that. And I love that you're talking about that and putting it in your book, and you can actually have a conversation, read through the pages, and actually do that. So what I'm curious about,
that part's not actually in my book. That'll be in my group course. So if I had put everything in the book, it would probably be more like 1,000 pages, and people would be like, I ain't reading this thing. That's like Tolstoy type stuff. No. So, yeah. So if you need to learn more, then that would be a good reason to come into my group course, because in the course itself, I can really help you personalize your needs and what you want your business to look like. So we start from scratch and we build out everything. Even if you have already kind of worked through some of the things, again, I had worked through a lot of things, but there were still things that I didn't know. And my business coach helped me really refine all of that. So what I learned from my business coach, I'm able to now help other people do the same thing.
Thank you for saying that.
I definitely agree. As I've read the book, even though it does say educator to entrepreneur, I don't feel like it's just pigeonholed to being, if you were an educator. I think you made it very broad. You do touch a little bit about the healthcare, making sure that you're aware of these things before you take a leap out. So I love that.
Yes.
When is your program starting? Do you have a start date yet for it? Are you still building your group?
I'm still building my group right now. So, if you want more information, I would love to talk to you more about that, or you can get in touch with me. You can email me, you can DM me. I'm big on LinkedIn. I'm big on Instagram. So I'm always checking my DMs there. So you can reach out, and I would love to have that conversation with you.
Excellent. Excellent. So go ahead, Damian.
No, you got it. You got it.
No.
So no problem. So tell us about your podcast. You have 2 different podcasts, and how do they thread into your book and your program?
Yes, I do have 2 different podcasts. So I started Empowered Educator in 2019 or 2020, right before COVID. And I loved it. It was one of those things where I became a podcast junkie, and I'm like, I can do this. So I bought a microphone, downloaded Audacity, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out along the way. Exactly why I have an Educator to Entrepreneur book now, because I just jump in head first and figure it out, learn to swim as I go. So Empowered Educator is for teachers who are ready to take that next step into leadership or administration. I mean, we have some great leaders who are in the classroom, some who they just prefer to stay in the classroom and lead from there. But we have some leaders in the classroom that are ready to step into administration. And so I talk about mindset. I talk about your options, because when I was moving into administration, I'm like, I can be a principal or SPED director. And that was all I knew. And because you just don't know what you don't know. And in rural Missouri, we don't have as many of the different options that you do in some of the larger cities, because we just don't have the funds. And so people are wearing multiple hats. And so I want teachers to have the knowledge of the options that are out there, all of the different options that they have for moving into an administrative position. And then I talk about preparation for that. What does that look like? Do you need to do some more schooling? Do you need to take some courses? What does that look like? But now I'm also adding in the entrepreneurship, because starting your own educational consultancy is a form of moving into administration or leadership, because we're teaching teachers, we're teaching administrators to do better. When you know better, you do better. And so there were things I didn't know as a teacher. I still didn't know some things as an administrator. I learned them as a dean of instruction. And so I saw that there was a need for that. I also have Choose Your Next Yes, which is really a podcast for midlife women who are ready to make that transition in their career. And I really wanted it to be for whatever you wanted to do. But as I was looking through my downloads, I noticed that the women that I was marketing to or talking to, they want to work from home, or they want to start their own freelance company. They're tired of working for someone else and they want to do their own thing. And so I market my book, Educator to Entrepreneur, to my Choose Your Next Yes audience, because it's versatile and it doesn't have to be just an educator who's leaving education. It can be anybody who's ready to start a freelance business.
Absolutely. I love it. I've been able to be on her podcast, so it's so fun. I've been on there twice. One time we did kind of using Ruby AI in education. Mm-hmm. And then I talked about my transition from being a brick and mortar educator to being a virtual middle school principal. And so that has been really fun. Very, very fun to be on there. And she does such a great job with it. She's a great host. She's great at, asking questions. So if you want, opportunity to be on a podcast, reach out to Dr. Mel. I'm sure she can get you scheduled out. She's really efficient and great with all of that as well. So I loved it. I'm going to read a couple of your titles. I do still I'm hung up, I know, on in the book that you talk about your podcast. I love that. And it's like, are you ready to deep dive into defining your destiny and taking action for your freelance business? I've got you covered with more great episodes of Empowered Educator. Episode 12, define your why vision for your online business. Oh my gosh. So she's already talked about it, but now I'm going to give you another resource for it. Create the mission for your online business. That's episode 13. Episode 14, create goals for your online business. Episode 15, take action and backward plan your goals. Episode 16, reflect on your action steps. So I love that in here for them to be able to go back and listen, because, as we're learning things, we have to let them digest and go in. Mm-hmm. So I love that. I think it's great.
One of the things that
I tell him this like 3 times. Every time we meet, I'm like, hey, guess what else is in the book?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yes. One of the things that my book coach said is always send them back to you. Yeah. So everything that you do in your book, pull them back to you in some way. So they're always in your circle, your world, you're giving them information. And so, like you said, I do pull them back into my podcast a lot. Even though this is a paperback version, in the back, there's a place where you can scan the QR code and get to me.
I haven't got there yet. Okay.
If you're on Kindle, then these are clickable links. I made them clickable links, so they will take you straight to my podcast episodes.
Oh, that's smart. Nice. Excellent. Oh my gosh. I
might have Ruby in the book too. So if you're on Kindle, you can click and it'll take you right to my Ruby link. So
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. That's excellent. Excellent. Gosh, we just covered so many great things about you, and we're getting close to the very end. Is there anything that you want to tell the audience, about you that we didn't think to ask you about, or something that you're looking forward to?
Not necessarily something that I'm looking forward to or anything that you didn't ask me, but I just want to encourage everybody to take bold and perfect actions. Sometimes we're just so scared of that it won't be perfect. We have those limiting beliefs. And I do talk about this in my book. And perfectionism was one of my limiting beliefs. And one of the things sometimes I will jump headfirst in, like starting a podcast. So I started it, but then I'm like, I'll pull back because I'm like, oh, this isn't good enough. Or I don't like the beginning of this, or nobody's going to know but you that it's not perfect. So take bold and perfect action and do the thing that you really want to do, because regret is a real thing. And I don't want people to get 10 years down the road and say, man, I wish I'd written a book, or I wish I'd started a podcast, or I wish I would have started my own freelance company, when it's right at your fingertips. It's so much more accessible now than maybe it was in the past, because there's so much information out there. And with tools like Ruby, it's so easy to do. It doesn't have to be perfect. No one's going to know that it's not. And the people who make the most money and have the biggest following, they don't care if it's perfect. They do it anyway. And they're bold in their actions. So I encourage everyone to be bold.
I love that. And I do agree with that. Sometimes we spend too much time strategizing or planning. Sometimes you just have to start and get in and make some changes along the way and grow with it. I love that advice. That's incredible. Damian, do you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I think you was spot on. We get to the point where we get stuck in our own head and we live in the what if island. What if this doesn't go right? What if this doesn't go wrong? What if this happens? And I think it's beautiful that you actually did it, accomplished it, and you know what? Now it's time to talk about it, get it out there, get it in the hands of people, and inspire others. Like you said, ignite other people.
Yes.
So that's what the 2350 effect is all about. Not getting in your own head in your own way. And I love that you're doing that with your book.
Absolutely. All right. So we are getting close to the hour. It's time to share your favorite quote. What's your favorite quote or something you live by?
Oh my gosh. I have so many quotes in the book, but I think one that I found when I was writing the book is by Estee Lauder. And it is, I never dreamed about success. I worked for it. It's not going to happen if you just dream about it. You have to actually put it into action. And so you have potential, put it in motion.
I love that. You do have a lot of really great quotes in your book. I agree.
I found some good ones while I was doing my research.
You did find some good ones. Yes. Yes, you did find some good ones. I really like that one. Yes. You do not find success. How did it say that again to us?
I never dreamed about success. I worked for it.
From Estee Lauder. I love that. I love that. That's cool. Damian, your favorite quote? Or do you have a new one this week?
Failure is automatic when you don't try.
Oh.
Yes. Perfect for today. Perfect for today.
It is perfect. I don't change that. That's perfect. If you don't try, you got to try. Absolutely. Mine doesn't ever change. Mine's always be the change you wish to see in this world. I have really just tried to live my life by that instead of complaining about something, I try to find a solution to it or try to do something different myself. If I don't like it, I need to change it. And so I always push forward with that. So yeah, absolutely love that. And so with that being said, that's why I do so much work with parenting. I know I don't talk a lot about that, but I do a lot of parenting work myself, because it's super important that we do that. And so if we're going to complain about the future, then let's try to change the present with some parenting structures and things. Absolutely.
Drop your favorite quotes inside the comments. We'd love to hear them and see them and read them and go back later and comment on them. I appreciate everyone for coming out. And you want to close us out, Dr. Farron?
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for being here. Damian and I are going to be here on the 2350 Effect on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and then you can do the rest of the math across the country and around the world. And so we also stream this to Creative Living Ideas YouTube channel. So I'll drop that into the chat section. So there's a 2350 Effect playlist in there this will be moved into. So yeah, make sure that you stay connected with us. We have a lot more to talk to you about in the future with 2350 Effect, the 2350 network, and the other things that we are bringing to you. So we're just getting steamed up. It's halfway through the year, but we've got a lot more things coming. So thanks for being here today. We appreciate you. And thank you, Dr. Mel.
Thank you so much for letting me be on your show. Thank you, everyone.
And Dr. Mel, how can they connect with you?
They can connect with me again through LinkedIn or Instagram. And you can also email me at Mel Vandevort, MELVANDEVORT @gmail.com.
And go out and buy Dr. Mel's book. Thank you it's always a pleasure for you coming out. And with that said, we wish everybody a happy week and good night.
Thank you for attending the 2350 Effect. If you are interested in becoming a guest or a sponsor, please contact Damian or Dr. Tania. Join us every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the 2350 Effect.